Well, hello, my friends. I am excited to be here with Nash Mahupete. He is the VP of Residential Services with QLI, Quality Living Inc. Nash, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for giving us the time to hang out with you guys on Metro TV, Andy.
Well, thank you. So you were featured in our a couple issues ago as an executive Q&A called Up Front, Up Close, and we got to know you a little bit better, kind of more so just kind of what your dreams have been, or I'm looking at some of the questions, describe your perfect day. What did you dream of when you were a kid, so, or when you grew up, to be when you grew up. So it was just a fun. I encourage people to head to spiritofomaha.com and check out that interview in print. But today, yeah, I want to talk a little bit about who you are and how you found yourself at QLI. So let's actually start there, because you are from Zimbabwe and you chose to make your home in Omaha. So we will dive into kind of the QLI organization itself. But yeah, how do I find myself here talking to Nash?
Well, I was a young man then, 23 years ago, when I came to the United States. I came here for school. My sister lived in the United States in Omaha at the time, and so that was one option. The other option I had was going to England with my other sister. And somewhere along the line, I chose Omaha, and it happened to be warm weather, so it was a great choice at the time. Winter proved to be
Yeah.
otherwise. But yeah, I got here in 2000 and went to school, studied environmental sciences. At the same time, I was working at QLI. I was just looking for a job that I could work in the morning, or sorry, in the evening, and then go to school in the morning. And that's all I was looking for. I didn't go to it for anything in the field. But then I found while I was at QLI that I had a lot of people that believed in me, people who invested their time in me. And it wasn't just about me. It's the culture of QLI, and I found it to be magnetic and ended up staying. So 23 years later, here I
Wow.
am.
Wow. I mean, how old were you when you got here? Like when you came to Omaha?
I was 19 at the time.
Okay. All
Yeah, I
right.
was 19.
I love that, because when you find a place, and then 23 years later, you're still at the same place and feeling good and inspired. That does say a lot about the organization you're working with. Do you want to, off the top of your head, any highlights over the years that you want to share or recall? Kind of putting you on the spot.
Several highlights. I think the biggest thing is when I first came to QLI, I thought, and it's typical, right? We have individuals with brain and spinal cord injuries. And so you're thinking you're in the service world. And the mission of QLI is to deliver life-changing rehab and care, protect dignity, instill purpose, and create hope. Uh, while also committing to excellence for individuals, that we're serving. And we have individuals with brain injuries, spinal cord injuries. So again, the normal thing in that aspect is to think, I'm going to make a difference. But I have noticed, that I have gained a lot from QLI. I've learned about perspective in life. I've learned lots of leadership skills. And I've gotten the opportunity to, because people invested in me, now pay it forward and invest in other people that are coming through. So we have an impact program, which is a workforce development program, taking people who are in high school and younger adults. And I think we do a great job of believing in those individuals, giving them somewhat of a internship so that they can grow into the healthcare fields. So that's been a highlight of mine. It's like a highlight tape. My whole life at QLI has been a highlight reel. My kids grew up around here, so they get to come at QLI. And I think the only low light that we had was during COVID, but even that was something that was an opportunity for us to come together and see how good we can really be in adversity.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so you talked about the mission of QLI, a little bit about who you serve. Um, your role as VP of Residential Services, what does that entail?
Uh, it's probably one of, I call it the best job.
Okay.
Not the best job. First of all, I show up at QLI wearing what I'm wearing right here. It's just like, a nice chill environment. But when we have these individuals with life-altering injuries, and we can bring the best of all worlds when it comes to psychology, education, and medicine, and all that is married over here. And so our residential teams are part of the rehab program. So it's not just a clinical and then residential program, but it's a marriage of a rehab program where we get to help rebuild shattered lives. And so we are working collaboratively to transform lives that otherwise have been unimaginably devastated.
Yeah, because I would say that the people that find themselves at QLI, something tragic most likely happened for them to be there.
That is very true. Nobody wants to be here. If you had any other option in life, when you go to a grocery store and you have to, get customer service, you're choosing to go to that grocery store.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to the people that we're serving, nobody wants to be here. If they could alter something in their life and change something in their life,
yeah,
but I think the cool thing is we create this environment that people end up, because we're serving people from all over the United States,
yeah,
35 states that we've served. People actually end up making Omaha home, which is very cool, right? Because
yeah,
people ask me, what are you doing in Omaha if you came from Zimbabwe? And it's QLI. And for some people, it's what you doing in Omaha if your original home was in Florida? It's QLI, so it's
yeah,
it's really cool.
yeah. That is really cool. And that just shows the level, yeah, of, like you said, of excellence, of care, and also, I mean, inspiration. I mean, again, as these people leave QLI to go, out on their own,
Right.
probably in somewhat of a different capacity or a different way, um, that they're feeling, that's a huge milestone for them, and also for you guys there that have had made that have made that happened for them.
It certainly is, and I think I just got a call from a young man who lives in on the Missouri side, between St. Louis and Illinois. He lives actually on the Illinois side now, and he came to us about 7 years ago. Spinal cord injury, was a rugby player, and just didn't know where life was going to be. And he called me and he's like, "Hey Nash, I'm getting married." He found his wonderful, wife to be. He's getting married actually this month.
Yeah.
I hope I can make it over to the wedding, but that's the kind of stuff that we have over here is the relationships that we create with people
Yes.
aren't transactional ways, just going through our program. We create a community that transcends lots of years
Yeah.
and lots of lives. So it's very
Yeah.
cool. It's very rewarding. Very rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, well, let's talk, because I'm gonna zigzag a little bit. Talk about like your education and professional background. So you came here at age 19. Um,
Yes.
were you obviously graduated from high school?
I was post high school and I went to school. I hit all the colleges around here. I went to Metro, I went to
Okay.
UNO, and then Bellevue, and I went to school for environmental sciences. So nothing that what of what I do here. And I remember at the time just saying, what can I do in terms of school that will help me grow within this organization? And our CEO Patricia Kearns, and then our former CEO Kim Hogeveen, they both were just like, okay. If you want to grow and you want to contribute to our mission, you will find ways of doing that. You will find a way. Now, definitely, if you want to be a PT, a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, if you want to be a nurse, yeah, you got to you got to go to school and actually study certain disciplines. But
Right.
the beautiful thing about QLI is no matter what your background is, if you just understand the mission and you get our values and you just want to be a part of something really cool, we'll find a place for you within our organization. It's just a matter about desire. Do I want
Yeah.
it that bad? And we
Yeah.
found a lot of great people who do, and so we've got a very great community over here with our team members.
Yeah. And I have to say, over the last 19 years, you've had to have seen just advances in technology and how things are done. Um, because what you can do now, you couldn't do 19 years ago.
23, but
Or
yeah, and
22, sorry, why don't I say, oh, no, you were 19 when you got it. 23, okay, that's even bigger.
exactly,
23
exactly,
years ago. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of advances, and of course, QLI has been around for a little over 3 decades,
yep,
and so even more advances since that
yeah,
time. But we are very passionate about the cutting edge technology that's out there. We're passionate about neuroscience and how it helps people, how we can at least maximize the technology that's out there to expedite people's journeys through rehab. Because when
yeah.
I first got here, the average length of stay was a lot longer, a
Hmm.
year for some people. And now we're helping people transition back within 3 months that they're going
Yeah,
back. So the technology is amazing, and we harness all the innovative technologies in order to help people reimagine what life can be. So it's
yeah,
very cool seeing that. We have a great team that's very curious
yeah,
in seeing what technology is like.
yeah. And I love that word reimagine because that truly, when I would assume, because I've never been in this, situation, but coming into QLI, your life has just completely changed. And it's hard for you to even think about what is possible. You're so into what you're dealing with. And to be
Mhm.
able to, whatever however that looks, to reimagine and start to get excited about life and inspired by life. That is huge.
Yes, yes. It is a huge part of it. And I think it's part of creating hope. And of course, when you think of uh, where we are in terms of medical insurance and all those challenges that people have to get, it's something that the insurance companies aren't paying for, right? They're paying, insurance companies are set up to help us just stay alive, be alive. Just if you're okay, if you're alive, you're okay, and you're able to go home. And yet, when it comes to rebuilding a life, it's more than that. It's that person, it's that mom that we have at QLI, and we're trying to figure out how we integrate the little boy and their husband, and how am I going to be a contributor and going back to work and things like that. It's a young student who's coming in and saying, I don't know what life is going to look like for me now that I have a brain injury or a spinal cord injury, and we're figuring out, okay, you might be alive right now, but how do we help you live life and live life to its full?
Yes. I love that. Yeah. I mean, your heart may be beating, but to truly be in the world and enjoy your life and love and feel and embrace all the beauty of what's out there for us, that's so important. So
Definitely.
very, very cool. Um, we actually got just about a minute left. That went really quick. Let's talk about the golf tournament coming up on
Yes.
August 7th.
August 7th, we have a QLI Golf Challenge. It's probably the best golf outing that we have in Omaha. I would rank it up there with any golf tournament that we have around in Omaha, and I play quite a bit of them. August 7th at the Players Club at Deer. The funds that we raise for the golf challenge go to our Life Path Services program. Again, talking about rebuilding those shattered lives. We also scholarship people at QLI because sometimes, a lot of times, we have individuals who don't have enough insurance to help them get home. And
Yep.
instead of just saying, hey, get out of here, we're like, no, let's do what makes sense. QLI always does what makes sense. And so the dollars that people, every single penny that we raise for at our golf challenge will be going towards our Life Path Services program, which definitely changes a lot of lives around here. So thank you in advance for joining our golf challenge. Go to our website, www.qliomaha.com, and you can figure out a way to join our golf challenge for this year, August 7th.
All right, wonderful. Yep, encourage everybody to sign up and going back to a great cause. And Nash, it's so great to get to know you better. And I can just tell you are so passionate about QLI and it's a great organization. So thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Andy, thank you for taking the time to always highlight organizations like QLI and bringing the Omaha community together. Your work is very, 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 very important, and so thank you as well
All
to
right.
everybody at Metro TV.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Nash. And folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. I am here with Andrea Ray. She is the owner, founder of her company, and she's planning a summer festival coming up here on June 18th that we're going to talk about. But Andrea, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first, let's talk about her company. What is that?
So her company is a women's cooperative. So basically I started it, I have a commercial kitchen in the back and then a retail space in the front. So if you're a cottage baker or a baker or someone that needs a kitchen space, you can work in the kitchen and then you can also retail in the front. So I have everything from candle makers to bakers to people who do pretty much anything that you can think of in the store. So
When did you, first of all, what was the inspiration for this?
funny. So I needed a kitchen for my business, which is Healing Foods. So I needed to find something. And when I was looking, I realized like how expensive everything was and how hard it was to, as a woman, obviously, to get a space and finance and do all of those things. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out and see if there's some other women that might need a space that we can have some sort of a cooperation. And I put it out there and it kind of blew up from there. So it was kind of fun.
And when was that? What year?
So I started the process last October and we opened in December. So December 28th of this last year. So we've been open for about 6 months.
Okay. Wow. So you're a newbie.
Yes, very new.
with with this enterprise and entity.
Yeah.
So let me ask you that. I just have questions coming up.
Okay.
Do you have space for more people, or how many
Yes.
people can you?
Yeah, so we always have space. I never turn people away. I always tell them that we'll find room for them. We always want to be able to help them and help them grow and help their businesses. And it's a revolving door. So the best part about her company is there's no contracts. So I always tell people if you invest in yourself for a month and it works, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. So I never want hard feelings, and I always want people to be able to find a way to help their business grow. But if it isn't something that's working, then they can leave. So we're always kind of looking for new people and or just expanding within the space of different items and different things to constantly make it new. So I always feel like the new energy is so exciting. So
Right.
And there's no competition. So I never have a limit of who can come or how many of something or
Right.
there's no exclusivity. So yeah.
And where are you located at?
We are on 153rd and Q. So at the end of the strip mall, we have a really nice space at the very end. So corner with beautiful windows and lights and things like that. So,
okay. Well, I'm excited to come out and visit, and let's talk about the summer festival. And this is the first annual summer festival. So what is this, and what was the inspiration for this?
So I actually do them monthly, but this is the summer one. So
Okay.
So we started a couple months ago. We just do one a month. And they're just festivals that I open up to additional women that maybe aren't able to have the space in my store, but they can and want to be a part of her company. So what I do is I offer spaces. We can have up to 100. We do Rome wine comes. She has her little Romy. We have live music. We have spaces. So it's basically a festival that people can come and set up their booth, be outside, and then our store's also open. So we kind of we open it up to more people, other than just what we have in our store. Yeah.
Okay. See, I am learning so much with this interview. Because again, as I told you before we started, I kind of walked into this not knowing a whole lot
Yes,
about
yeah.
you or this. So I'm excited for the community to know more about this. So that is on, so the one in June is on June 18th. Are they
Yep.
always kind of the third Sunday of the
We
month?
try to, yeah. So the one in July, that's the same. It's going to be the third. Yep. We try to
Okay.
keep it kind of consistent like that. So we always try to do a month out, and it gets a little toasty. Our first one was a little cold, and then this last one was amazing. And then it'll get a little warm, but we'll be great. So.
Yeah. And okay, so this is free. You don't have to buy a ticket. You just come if you want to be a part of this. I mean,
So
to-
so the vendors do
yeah,
need to, they rent a space,
sure.
and then for the public, it's all free. So
Yeah.
you can just come, and everything is out. We have this huge parking lot, and our landlord here is amazing. She always works with us to do these fun things. So we just take our whole area. It's on the east side of the building, and we kind of fill in our little parking spots. And yeah, you can just come and walk around. There's so much to see.
And is there like a grocery store or is there something like what's the big store that's kind of
So it used to be. Right now it's Urban Air.
okay.
So Urban Air and Brewskis are over here. Yep.
Okay. I'm just like mentally trying to
Yeah, but it used to
picture
be a
that.
grocery store. Yeah, Urban Air
Okay.
was a grocery store. Yep.
Okay. Um, so for let's talk about vendors for just a second again. So vendors, I've got your website pulled up over here. So vendors, I see it's $60 if you want to be a vendor.
Yeah. Yep. It's
And you can
$60.
actually go to your website or her company cooperative.com, and then there's a place where you can just
Just
add
sign up. Yep.
yeah.
And then I send information and get everybody in their logos and get them all kind of going. And then we find them a space and their needs. Some people need bigger spaces, some need smaller spaces. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to say you're pretty darn awesome. I mean,
Well, thank you.
yeah, well, you're welcome. I mean, this is just amazing. And what you're doing for women business owners, just to be able to share their products and what they do, and just the way that you go about doing it. And I love that, hey, this may work out to be here long term or
Yeah.
not, because that's something starting, when you're starting your own business or and you've got a product that you want to put out in the world and in the community, and sometimes things are just a little rocky and they're challenging and you're
Yes.
just not, it's a unpredictable journey for sure.
Yes. And the one of the best things about what we do is, so think about it. You're a cottage baker, right? So you're taking orders mostly. You don't have a place for people to just come by and get your things. So if you're a cottage baker and you want to be creative and you want to do your own thing, we're actually selling your products for you. And or if you're a business owner, you just put your products in our store and we promote you, which is, it's really hard as a business owner to promote yourself, I feel. And I feel like a lot of women feel that way. And so, yes, you can be social media, you can share that way, you can have websites, but can people actually come and can we teach them about your products, and can we show them and share with them and tell them your story? And that's kind of the best part. So,
Yeah. And also you're providing a little space for them to
yeah.
potentially go out and do something bigger and do
Yes,
something bigger.
exactly.
So,
And
yeah.
we do want that. We definitely like that. We think that that's the best part is if you want your own store, go for it. Like that is the sky's the limit, right? But if
Yeah.
you want to be, like, if you want to make money without having all the investments and all of
Yeah.
the time and energy that you would have to run your store, yeah, this is the way to do it. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, this is great. And I encourage everybody to pop out in June on the 18th, or if you can't make it in June, then you can make it in July or August.
yes, August.
So,
Yeah, we're going to go through October. So, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Any of them.
All right. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for joining me today. It's great
Yes,
to
thank
learn
you.
more about you and your story and your journey. So, and I will mention also, viewers, that Andrea and her company will be featured in an upcoming issue of Midland's Business Journal. So be sure to check that out in a couple weeks. So, all right, Andrea, thanks again.
Thank you. Have a good day.